Today we have a special episode, guys. Not top 3, not top 5, but we're discussing my top 10 builds in Dead by Daylight in today's episode. Now, a couple of ground rules with these 10 builds. One, I tried my best to not reuse multiple perks over and over again, because how dull would it be if I said dead hard, dead hard, dead hard, dead hard? You get the point. And two, I made these builds to fit a wide variety of playstyles, whether you're just here looking for the most competitive meta build, or you're here because you like to just prioritize the objectives, or you love healing, or you just like using quirky, absolute fun meme builds. Well, guys, you're in luck. Stay tuned. There's a build for you. I guarantee it. Let's hop into top 10 Survivor builds, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, are you here because you just want a solid build? Are you here because you want the meta build? Are you here because you want to just pick 4 of the most solid, impactful perks in Dead by Daylight to fill into your loadout and call it a day? Well, build number 10 is for you. This is the meta build, ladies and gentlemen. Unbreakable, adrenaline, dead hard, and off the record. What do? Well, Unbreakable, very simple. When you're in the dying state, you have the ability to recover from the dying state once per trial, and on top of that, your dying state recovery speed is increased by 35%. This perk is incredible because the fact that it exists means killers cannot leave you slugged on the ground, and therefore the threat of this perk being potentially in someone's loadout will always have killers playing a certain way, and this is the only perk besides No Mither that lets you get back up from the dying state, but we'll discuss that other stuff later. Number 2, Adrenaline. Fantastic perk that you don't have to do anything besides finish all 5 gens to get it to activate. Once you finish that last gen, you instantly heal a health state. You run 150% quicker for 5 seconds. This opens up the door for some extremely clutch plays. Let's say you were on the ground and then you get up with Unbreakable and then your teammate finishes the last gen and then Adrenaline hits. Well, you just went from dying state to fully healed. If you're injured, you go fully healed. If you're in the dying state, you go to the injured state. If you're on a hook when Adrenaline pops, once you get off that hook, guys, you instantly heal and you get that 150% speed burst to get your ass out of the game. This perk is incredible. It's game-changing, impactful, and if a squad of like 4 people run this perk, well, you're just end games are going to be absolutely sick for you guys. Dead Hard. You probably know Dead Hard. If you don't know Dead Hard, this is probably one of the go-to exhaustion perks right now. You can only use it when you're injured, but when you're injured, and if you time it correctly, as in you only have a half a second window where this perk works, and if you time it when the killer is attacking you, instead of going down, you'll actually go into the deep wound state, but you'll stay in the chase a little bit longer. You'll get to keep running, you'll get to extend out your chases. This, in a weird way, this perk is kind of like a third life for you. Amazing perk, awesome exhaustion perk, and last but not least, off the record. Once you're unhooked, you have 80 seconds of these abilities. 1, your aura will not be shown to the killer. If the killer's running barbecue and chili or any kind of aura reading perk, he will not be able to find you for the next 80 seconds after getting unhooked. This helps you prevent yourself from getting tunneled. But also 2, your grunts of pains while you're injured are reduced 100%, which is fantastic. And number 3, you still retain the endurance status effect. So when you get unhooked from the hook, you have 10 seconds where you can take a hit. This essentially makes that 10 seconds 80 seconds, assuming you don't do any conspicuous actions. That is, repairing a generator, healing another player, because those disable your endurance ability. But if you don't do that, you have 80 seconds to pretty much stay off the grid and also tank another hit if you don't get rid of this. So this is a very good perk for preventing yourself from getting tunneled and also giving you another chance in the game. One more thing, this perk does deactivate in the end game, but that's okay because you have Adrenaline. So now the strong things about this build, guys. Well, 1, these are probably 4 of the strongest, most impactful perks in Dead by Daylight. They open up the doors for some really crazy potential plays. Like, these are solid. There are situations where everybody's slugged and you're the only one with Unbreakable. You get up, you get someone off the hook, you pick someone else up. Like, that has happened to me a handful of times, and when it does, it's just like, oh my god, this is crazy. So a lot of these perks really good in tight situations. There's times where you're in chase and you're about to go down and then your teammate finishes the last gen and then Adrenaline kicks up, you heal and you get that speed boost and you get out of chase. Like, there's a lot of great things that happen with this build, guys. The only downsides I would say is 1, it's a little bit cookie cutter and kind of boring because it is the meta build, and 2, the value isn't always guaranteed. There are times you miss your dead hards. There are times you don't get to the end game. There are times the killer just picks you up and hooks you. But besides that, guys, the meta build, solid build, great build. Let's go on to build number 9. All right, are you a solo queue master? Are you a team player? Do you like bringing a lot of utility to your teammates in solo queue? Do you want the best chance possible to win with randoms? There is that new HUD change, but do you still want a little bit more? This build is for you guys, the solo queue build. The build, guys. Kindred, Prove Thyself, Boon, Circle of Healing, Deja Vu. Let me explain. Well, since they introduced the new HUD display for Dead by Daylight, the game has gotten considerably easier for solo queue. As far as coordination, seeing what your teammates are doing, figuring out what you need to be doing, all that has gotten way better. But this build here excels in taking it to the next level. So Kindred, whenever you're hooked, all your teammates can see the killer's radius within 16 meters of that hook, but also they can see each other's auras. Also, when another teammate is hooked, you can see the rest of your teammates' auras. So now that HUD display usually does help you figure out who needs to go for the hook or not, but this takes all the guesswork out of it, because every time you're hooked or another teammate's hooked, you see what everybody's doing, where everybody's at, and you can see if the killer's camping the hook too. This enables you to go in for those quick and easy rescues, but this also gives you vital intel to the rest of your team. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I love it when my teammates bring Kindred in, or I bring Kindred in and someone gets hooked and I can see exactly what the rest of my team is doing, so I know what I need to be doing. This just helps improve overall coordination, and it's a very, very strong intelligence perk. Number 2 is Prove Thyself. Pretty simple. Every survivor working on a generator within 4 meters of you gets a 15% boost to repair speed. This undoes the speed you lose by working together. If you don't already know, if you work on generators together as multiple survivors, you actually suffer a small penalty to gen progression. Prove Thyself gets rid of that. Also, you get 100% more blood points for all your cooperative actions during the game. So if you want blood points, great perk for you, but this is going to help you finish gens a lot quicker, especially when you're working on them with your teammates. Prove Thyself, great to bring in, great to help you guys get gens done, great overall perk for your team. Number 3, Boon, Circle of Healing. Guys, find a totem, bless a totem. Create a safe haven within a 24-meter range. All survivors in that Boon radius can heal 50% quicker, but also they can heal themselves at a 50% reduced rate, which means everybody can heal themselves, and if you heal someone else, you get a 50% boost to your healing. This perk is awesome because it's a no-brainer, guys. You set up a Boon, you see a big blue glowy field on the field. Everybody who's playing with you knows that they can go here and heal. So you might be doing your own thing, working on generators, you set up a Boon. That's a safe haven. Your teammates can go over there and heal. You can go heal yourself. You can go heal your teammate. It really doesn't matter. It just creates this huge hub on the field where everyone can go and heal. And it doesn't really matter what you're doing. This is just a great team perk. And it gives your team a lot of opportunities to heal and recover and get back in the game. Last perk, Deja Vu, guys. Slept on. Let me explain why I think this perk is so good for the solo queue build. 1, at the start of the trial, the 3 generators that are closest to each other will be revealed to you for 60 seconds. 2, if you're holding a map, it can track the generators. 3, you get a 5% boost to your repair speed progress. These are the 2 important ones. We're going to focus on 1 and 3. Well, for the starters, you launch into the game and you already have a game plan. You see the 3 closest gens, so you know you need to go prioritize working on those gens. While you're working on those gens, you get to do them 5% quicker, and that actually feels really good. But the kicker is, if you prioritize focusing on your Deja Vu gens, you can single-handedly prevent your team from getting 3-gen. We've all been in those scenarios where we're dominating the killer, looks like it's going to be an easy win, and then we realize, oh no, the last 3 gens are so close together, super easy for the killer to defend, and then you end up losing a game you should have otherwise won. This perk right here will prevent you from any of those situations ever happening. I guarantee you, as long as you are the one going in and trying to focus on preventing your team from getting 3-gen, even if you only do 1 generator, like, that usually is enough to save your team, because this will always keep showing you the next 3 gens that are closest together, and by the time you get to the last 3, they should be very split apart. So, guys, Deja Vu, Boon, Circle of Healing, Prove Thyself, and Kindred, the solo queue build, guys. Try it for yourself. This is a great build for giving intel to your team, for making your team that much more coordinated, because we all know solo queue teams can sometimes be questionable, and these are very strong team perks. What are the cons of this build? Well, you don't really have any exhaustion perks, and you don't have the clutch capability that you did have with the meta build, for example. You don't have the unbreakable, you don't have the adrenaline, you don't have the second chance with dead hard, but honestly, sometimes that's okay. I don't even feel like you always need those. So guys, give this a build. Worst case scenario, you can swap out your Deja Vu for Sprint Burst or Dead Hard. Let's hop into build number 8. Are you a wild child? Are you a man on a mission and your only objective is to repair these damn generators and escape? Well guys, the Hyperfocus Giant Toolbox build is for you. The build, guys. This build is actually built around an item, Commodious Toolbox. 32 charges increases your generator repair speed by 50%. The add-ons we're using are the wire spool for 12 more charges and the scraps for 8 more charges. So 20 charges on top of 32, bringing us to the grand total of 52 charges. Now, this toolbox lets you repair 50% quicker for 52 charges. That's a long time, but this build is going to make this toolbox even crazier because, one, we're running build to last. Whenever our toolbox is out of charges, we can go into a locker, and after 12 seconds, we refill our depleted item to 99%. And then each time afterwards, we get 33% less. So the first time, pretty much a full refill. Second time, we get 66%. And then the last time, we'll get 33% back. So 33 plus 66 ends up being 99 again. So you can think of this as 3 uses of your toolbox. You get your first one, your second one, and your third one. So instead of, 52 charges, we end up with 156 charges of our toolbox if we use all of our build to last. So we have a lot of opportunity with this toolbox. We can sabotage hooks and we can do gens really, really quickly for a long period of time. But to make this even better, we're using Streetwise, guys. This will reduce our item consumption rate by 25% for us and our allies who are within 8 meters of us. And the effect persists for 15 seconds. But this is going to add 25% more charges onto our already ridiculous toolbox. Guys, this toolbox will literally last you forever. If you've never used this setup, try it out. You're going to be amazed that you're still sitting there and you've done 60% of a generator and you still have charges in your toolbox. It's literally wild. But we're taking this a step further. So, toolbox repair speed, because you're doing it at an increased speed, you will get prompted for more skill checks. Remember that as we talk about these next perks. Hyperfocus, guys. The first one. Once you hit a great skill check, while you're healing or repairing, you'll get a token. Up to 6. Each token increases your chances of 1, triggering the skill check by 4%, 2, increases that speed of that skill check by 4%, and 3, increasing the benefit of your great skill check by 30%. So essentially this makes your generator work turn into slot machines, because each consecutive great skill check you hit, you will get a bonus to your skill check progression, be more likely to get skill checks, and then the skill checks will be a little bit harder and harder. So we're combining Hyperfocus with the toolbox because that's going to prompt us to get a lot of skill checks. We're going to get a lot of chances to try and hit these Hyperfocus. But just to make it that much better, we're stacking it with Stakeout, boys. Getting close to the killer fills you with determination. For each 15 seconds you're within the killer's terror radius, which is not hard to do, you'll get a token. Each token will guarantee that your good skill check gets converted to a great skill check, and then you'll lose a token. And you also get a 1% extra bonus to your gen repair progress. So guys, 4 stacks of Stakeout pretty much guarantees that you'll get your first 4 stacks of Hyperfocus, and then it's up to you to get number 5 or number 6, or if you can even get your Hyperfocus great skill checks without using your Stakeout stacks and save it for your last ones when you're going to miss it and you can only get a good check. Guys, you are going to shred through these generators insanely quick. I'm not even lying. Even if your teammate is running the solo queue build and they bring Prove Thyself and you're running this setup, guys, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting how great this build is and how fast you will destroy these generators. Pros of this build, guys: hella fast gen speed, pretty much infinite ability to sabotage. If you're in the neighborhood and your teammate's going to get hooked, well, you can use this toolbox to sabotage that hook. And 3, this toolbox will pretty much last forever. I would be surprised if you use all 3 charges of this toolbox. I'm just gonna say it, guys. More often than not, you will have your toolbox to the end of the game. It'll be very hard to use all the charges. And the only cons with this build, guys, 1, we're not using an exhaustion perk, whatever. And 2, Franklin's Demise. It's gonna feel bad if you get your toolbox knocked out of your hand. But even then, guys, Built to Last is kind of a weird counter to it, because if you lose all your charges, you can still grab your toolbox, get back in a locker, and get your charges back. Let's move on to build number 7. Hello there. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Do you frequently ask yourself, what is this game? Do you consider yourself a badass who doesn't need to play by Dead by Daylight's pre-established rules? Well then, you want the Rebel build. The Rebel, guys. This is the build for you edgy players out there. Deliverance, Breakdown, Decisive Strike, and Off the Record. Deliverance, simple perk, guys. After you perform a safe hook rescue on another survivor, you now have a 100% chance of unhooking yourself during your first escape attempt. After you use Deliverance, you will be broken for 60 seconds. It's very simple. You unhook somebody once earlier in the trial, then you can jump off that freaking hook, boys, and that's where this build happens. 2, Breakdown. Anytime you are removed from a hook or remove yourself, the hook will be broken for 180 seconds, and you can see the killer's aura for 6 seconds. So the plan is unhook somebody, get our Deliverance, and then the next time we find ourselves on a hook, we're gonna have a bunch of fun. 1, we're gonna jump off the hook with Deliverance. 2, we're gonna break the hook and see the killer's aura. So we can do 2 things after that. We can run away from the killer, or if you're feeling rebellious and want to run to the killer, by all means, the next perks, Decisive Strike and Off the Record. So Decisive Strike, guys, whenever we are unhooked, for 60 seconds, we'll have Decisive Strike. Whenever we are picked up, Decisive Strike will activate. If we hit a great skill check, we will stun the killer for 3 seconds. The killer will drop us, and then we will be able to continue on with our chase. Now, this perk is great because, 1, if you're jumping off a hook after the killer hooks you, they're most likely going to turn around and go tunnel you and go straight for you. Couple good things. 1, they can't hook you on the hook you just jumped off of because you have Breakdown. 2, if they do down you again, well, first of all, we're covered with Off the Record. Off the Record, I explained it earlier, gives you endurance, grunts of pain reduced for 100% for 80 seconds, endurance for 80 seconds, and the killer cannot see your aura for 80 seconds. So this is a way of keeping us covered because we're broken for 60 seconds. We will not be able to heal. So after we jump off a hook, we have 2 things going for us. 1, we can take the Off the Record endurance hit. So once we jump off a hook, and I like to have fun with this build, guys. When the killer hooks me, I will jump off right in front of their face and I will carry on the chase because I know I'm covered with Off the Record. Off the Record lets me take a hit. Also, if I go down again, which will sometimes happen, especially if my looping skills are feeling a little soppy that day, I'll have Decisive Strike. So you get your Off the Record hit, you get down, the killer picks you up, you use Decisive Strike, and honestly, guys, it's just a lot of fun. Killers really hate this build. They get annoyed by it. You jump off hooks, they tunnel you, it's Off the Record, okay, whatever, they down you, and then it's Decisive Strike, and they're just like, well, what the heck is going on with my life? The pros of this build, guys, it's super freaking fun, guys. Every time I jump off a hook, and I continue the chase, and I take my Off the Record hit, and I go down, and then I Decisive Strike the killer, I laugh. I cannot stop laughing. It's just so much fun. 2, this is pretty much the only perk in the game that lets you unhook yourself 100%. There are some luck perks, but this is the only perk that lets you jump off a freaking hook, guys. Breaking the game rules. 2, it's just amazing, dudes. Actually, 3, what did I say? It's amazing to work with killers. And also, Breakdown is low-key kind of cool. Breaking a hook for 180 seconds is a long time. And seeing the killer's aura every time you get unhooked lets you either avoid the killer or run straight to the killer if you're just trying to have a good time. The cons of this build, guys. The one big con is getting hooked first sucks. Don't get hooked first. If you get hooked first, you will not be able to get your Deliverance this game, and then you're going to be very sad. But if you can just play it a little safe until you get your first unhook, then you're going to have a lot of fun with this build, guys. Let's hop into build number 6. Do you consider yourself a joker? Are you an absolute meme lord? Are you just here for a good time? Are you an arrogant, cocky bastard who feels like you only need one life to flex your infinite amount of skills? Guys, the Gigachad no mither build. The perks, no mither, tenacity, resilience, and dead hard. First of all, no mither. It's gonna make us broken for the entire duration of the trial. Now I know some people are gonna flame for me for putting a no mither build out there, but this build is a lot of fun, and this is for my arrogant bastards in the chat. So anyways, if you're there, comment down below. No mither. You stay broken the whole trial, which means one hit, you're pretty much down. The trade-off, you don't leave any pools of blood. Your grunts of pains are reduced by 75% for the entire trial. So you'll be injured, but you'll be quiet and you're not going to be bleeding. And 3, the kicker, your recovery speed is increased 25%. And you can completely recover from the dying state. And you can keep doing this as much as you want. And that is where this build really shines. 2, tenacity, guys, because we're the only 10 I see. That's right. That's right, tenacity, baby. This lets you crawl 50% faster and recover while you're crawling, and your grunts of pains are further reduced another 75%. Now, if you take a body block for somebody who's getting hooked, for example, your teammate's getting carried to the hook, you take a body block, try to slow them down, you go down, odds are you can usually crawl away and still get back up, because 2 things. 1, you're not leaving any blood. 2, with the 75% grunts of pain reduction from tenacity and the no mither one, you're actually completely silent. And 3, you're recovering. So you take a hit, find some cover, crawl away. Killers usually don't expect it, then you get back up. 3rd perk, resilience, boys, because we're 9% better than everybody else. Resilience. The trade-off for playing this entire trial injured is that we're going to do everything 9% quicker. Repairing, vaulting, sabotaging, healing, unhooking, gen speeds, cleansing, blessing, totems, exit gates, whatever. We do everything 9% quicker for the entire trial because we will always be injured. Great perk for this no mither build. And the last perk is dead hard, which we discussed earlier. This is pretty much going to be our only way of extending the chase and taking a second hit. So instead of 1 life, we'll actually have 2 lives. But the cool thing about it is that we are always injured. So we, as long as we're not exhausted, we can always potentially hit an awesome dead hard play. Now this build, guys, it's a lot of fun. You do gens quicker, you do everything quicker, you progress the game quicker. If you get into chase, the downsides of the build. So the fun parts, guys, the fun parts is getting up multiple times feels really good. I have had situations in the end games where everybody's getting slugged, but I have no mither, so I keep getting up because the killer doesn't have a hook to put me on. Or I'm body blocking for a teammate going to the hook. I get down, but there's enough commotion going on or other teammates running around that I crawl away and get up. You got to be a little smart with it. If you get down right away in chase and you don't last long, you're most likely going to go straight to getting hooked. That feels bad. That's probably the one bad thing about this build is that if you get down right away, whatever, you're going straight to the hook. But if you're an arrogant bastard and you're just here for a good time and you just want to have some fun, give this build a try, guys. I'm actually really surprised at how much fun this build ends up being. And that's the name of the game, guys. It's not always about playing the boring cookie cutter meta competitive perk because you just want to win. Sometimes you just want to have fun with the game. This is the build for it, dudes. Gigachad, no mither build. Ooh, want to use it right now, actually. Build number 5. Are you into art? Do you value symmetry? Do you love underrated perks that blend together so damn perfectly it's a sin that not more people use builds like this? Well, guys, the B50 build is for you. This is a healing-based build, guys, built around botany. The perks, botany, resurgence, solidarity, reactive healing. This build is awesome for healing and staying fully healed with minimum effort. And what I like about it is, and the reason why I call it the B50 build is because 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%. It's kind of cute. It's cute. All right, botany for starters increases our healing speed by 50%, reduces our healing item efficiency by 20%. So if you bring a med kit, you will not get full value out of your med kit, but you will heal a lot quicker. But that's where the rest of this build comes in. So for example, I have a green med kit here with a gel dressing, which will give me 2 full charges of this med kit. But actually with botany, I would only actually get to heal myself like 1.5 times. But the rest of this build helps with that because 1, resurgence. Whenever we get unhooked, we are at 50% of our healing progression instantly, which means we only require half the amount of time to fully heal ourselves. So if we use this green medkit, we'll heal ourselves really quickly. If our teammates heal us, they'll only heal us in 8 seconds instead of the normal 16 seconds. But this goes a step further because we've also got solidarity. Whenever we heal somebody else, we will heal ourselves at a 50% conversion rate. So let's say we get unhooked, but the person who unhooked us is injured for some reason. If we heal them first, because we're at 50% with Resurgence and we have that extra healing speed of Botany, we'll not only heal them quicker, but we'll also heal ourselves completely, which is a great feeling when it does work out. Super underrated perk that not a lot of people use, but it's also really fun. And then the last one is Reactive Healing. This perk, I don't expect much of it, but when it works, it's just so much fun, guys. Like, whenever you're injured and a survivor around you loses a health state within 32 meters, you will heal instantly 50% of the way. So if you get unhooked with Resurgence, you're running away, the guy who unhooks you takes a hit, you will actually heal up another 50%. So then you'll be 75% of the way healed. So literally, it takes like a millisecond to top yourself off with your med kit. A millisecond, guys. It's not long at all. The B50 build, guys. What's this build great for? Well, it's great at healing your teammates, and it's great for having these really fun perks that synergize in all these weird different ways. And even like another thing, guys, let's say like you get a reactive healing. Like, let's say you're injured, your teammate takes a hit, you get reactive healing, they get out of chase, or you find another injured teammate, and then you start healing them. You have your extra speed, and then you also have solidarity. Because you got 50% with reactive healing, you will still completely heal yourself with solidarity. Just another thing to throw out there. Good things about this build, guys. It's a lot of fun. This build is fun. 2, it's extremely easy staying fully healed. 3, these are some very unique, underrated, but also low-key kind of amazing perks that people do not use and sleep on all the time. The cons of this build: 1, the plague. I'm just going to say it. The plague sucks. Any healing build, if you play against the plague, I don't want to tell you to just disconnect, but sometimes I feel like I'm not saying you should disconnect. I'm not saying it, but the plague hurts. But the plague hurts all healing builds. And 2, the hemorrhage status effect blows. If you're up against like a sloppy butcher or something, well, I'm sorry. That's going to be like the one downside of this build. Because of hemorrhage, even though you have 50% of your healing progress when you get unhooked, you'll start bleeding out and you'll go all the way back down to 0. Those moments are bad, but they can be mitigated if you just start healing yourself right away with your med kit and don't waste any time. Anyways, guys, let's move on to build number 4. Intermission. If you're enjoying this video, guys, smash that freaking like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already part of the family, because we do builds here, we do fun content. Please join the channel and join the mission. Also, I will have individual episodes for each and every one of these builds in the link down below. So if any one of them resonates with you and you want to check out an actual episode around that build, well, guys, links will be in the description below, but let's carry on. Build number 4. Are you a healing fanatic? Do you love medkits? Do you just take pride and joy in keeping your team healthy and healed? Well, guys, this is the healing build for you. The Desperate Medic. This build is built around the Ranger Medkit. Ranger Medkit has 32 charges. It increases the healing speed you heal others by 50%. Also, a little bit of effects on great skill checks and success zones. Not that big of a deal. The main thing is 32 charges is enough for 2 heals, and you heal people 50% quicker. We're using a gel dressing for 16 more charges, so essentially we get 3 heals out of this medkit. And then surgical sutures, which will boost our healing speed by another 15%. So this medkit will heal others 65% quicker, but it'll heal us at the normal rate. But we're actually going to be using this medkit to heal our teammates because we're running Built to Last, Desperate Measures, Empathy, and Renewal. Built to Last, I love this perk. This perk is probably the most repeated perk in the top tier list, but this just opens up so many different builds and opportunities. It's hard to not use it. I've described it before, but what this perk does is essentially lets us refill our medkits. So instead of 3 charges, guys, with Built to Last, we will have a total of 9 charges from our medkit. I challenge you to use 9 medkit charges in a game. You will probably not be able to use them all, and that's okay. We're combining it with Desperate Measures. Desperate Measures for each injured, hooked, dying survivor. We will unhook and heal people 14% quicker, so we can get up to 4 stacks of this, which will go 14, 28%, can't do math right now, 56% for the 4th stack. So we will get a 50% total boost to our healing speed if things are not going right for our team. But on top of that, guys, it does stack with our medkit. So with 56% and 65%, we will be healing people pretty damn quick. 100 and whatever percent. Comment down below if you're doing the math. I'm on the spot right now. Excuse me. But you'll heal people really quickly, guys. I love this perk. You unhook people quicker, and it's like the worse off your team is doing, the better your heals actually get, which is phenomenal. Not only do we have a crap ton of medkit usage, we also have a bonus speed with desperate measures, but also we're using empathy, guys. Super underrated perk. Very simple. Every injured or dying state ally has their aura revealed to you within a 128 meter range, which essentially should just be the entire map. And the cool thing about this perk is you can do more than just heal. Well, one, you can find out where all your injured teammates are, so you can run to them, heal them up, and go on with your business. But two, if a survivor's in chase and someone eventually gets injured, and then you'll see them on the map, you know exactly where that chase is at. With the new HUD display, you can actually see the survivors that are in chase, but now that you actually see their aura when they're injured, you can see exactly where the chase is taking place, so you know where you need to be to stay away from the killer. And then the last perk we're using to make it all worth it is Renewal, guys. Underrated, slept on. Renewal is a simple perk. Whenever you heal someone a full health state, Renewal will activate. The next time you get unhooked, guys, you will be broken for 20 seconds, meaning you can't heal yourself up. But then after that 20 seconds is gone, you will automatically be fully healed. And if for some reason you take your borrowed time hit coming off the hook, this will actually heal you out of deep wound instead. So what I love doing with this build is like you get rewarded for healing your teammates essentially. Empathy helps you find your sick teammates. Built to Last helps you unhook them quicker and also heal them quicker. And then you're using your medkit to actually heal your teammates. Because you have 9 charges, guys. You don't have to be stingy with this. You can use this to heal your teammates, and you can heal yourself too, but you can use it to heal your teammates. And if you heal your teammates a full health state, next time you get unhooked, well, you'll get a free heal with Renewal. And then if you get hooked after that and you manage to heal someone else in between, you'll get 2 free heals out of it for being altruistic and healing your team, guys. Good things about this build, it's just a really fun, out-of-the-box way to heal. There's a lot of great healing perks. We'll make it comes to mind. A lot of great perks for your teammates, but this is one that specifically turns a medkit into just a healing machine for you, because you're always getting that 65% speed. And then with desperate measures, you heal people just insanely quick, dude. This is a fun build if you like being the team medic. Give it a go. Try it out for you. Things to look out for. Again, Plague sucks. 2, Franklin's Demise could be a pain, but other than that, guys, you should have a pretty good time with this build. Moving on to build number 3. Are you an elusive player? Do you like disappearing from the killer? Do you like playing stealthy? Are your chase skills a little bit suboptimal to where you just need a little bit of a boost to disappear once you get into chase? The Ninja build is the build for you guys. Again, we're running Built to Last, but Bite the Bullet, Overcome, and Lucky Break. Let me get into the build. So for starters, guys, bring a medkit with you. It doesn't matter what medkit. You can use the green medkit or the yellow medkit. I would just recommend you have at least 2 charges in that medkit between your medkit and your add-ons. Now that that's out of the way, we are running Built to Last to refill our medkit charges. That part is pretty simple. I've explained this perk like 3 times already. You should know what it does, but essentially it'll let you reuse your medkits. Why we need the medkits for is for the rest of this build. 1, Bite the Bullet. Whenever we heal someone or we heal ourselves, our grunts of pains are reduced by 100%, so we'll be completely silent. Also, if we fail skill checks, our regression's only 100% instead of the usual amount, which is a nice added bonus. But the real bread and butter of this build are these next 2 perks. 1, Overcome. When we get injured, that speed boost you get once you get attacked, this perk extends that speed boost for an extra 2 seconds, meaning you have a huge burst of speed after you get injured, so that way you can run away from the killer. But the best part about it is that when you combine it with Lucky Break, it becomes absolutely insane. Lucky Break also activates when you're injured. Once you're injured, you don't leave any blood, you don't leave any scratch marks for a 60-second time period. So you get the vibe, guys. You're in chase, you're running around from the killer, you take a hit, you get a huge burst of speed with Overcome, and then you're also not leaving any scratch marks or pools of blood. So if you're somewhere, like an indoor map, or if you're outside and you actually have places with cover to break line of sight from the killer, you can disappear from the killer, because not only do you get that huge boost of speed, they can't really track you that well. All they really have to go on are your grunts of pains, because 1, you're not leaving scratch marks, 2, you're not leaving any blood, and 3, if you get away, and find some little corner to hide behind. You're not leaving any scratch marks. You got that huge burst of speed. You can start healing yourself with Bite the Bullet. And this does two things. One, it'll make it completely quiet, so the killer will have a hard time finding you. And two, when you heal yourself up, and why I like the green med kit, because this gives you 50% extra self-healing speed, you heal yourself really quickly, you disappeared from the killer, and you're saving your lucky break charges. And the best part about Lucky Break is since the last patch, like the last big patch they did, every 1 second you spend healing another teammate will increase the duration of Lucky Break by 1 second. So if you're injured and you're healing someone, that's just going to keep that meter from going down. But if you heal up and then you heal someone, everybody you heal will get your Lucky Break charges back. So you can pull this combo off multiple times a game, guys. I think my record is maybe 4 or 5 times I've used this combo. And like, it also just depends on the medkit. Like if you wanted to bring the Ranger medkit in, like last time with the gel dressing, and have that 9 charges, you can even use some of those charges to heal your teammates up. That way you're just healing, you're getting your charges back. Every time you get into chase, you're disappearing like a damn little ninja. Ooh, dudes, I am amazed. Like, even this perk by itself is already solid, but all together, this build just feels absolutely phenomenal, guys. If you're tired of the build to last, you can just bring a big medkit with you and swap it out for like quick and quiet. That also works too. But then, what I don't like about that is that you don't get the full potential of this build. Because you can refill your medkits, you get so much value out of this build. You can redo this combo 4 times, 5 times. It just really depends, guys. Great build, awesome build for sneaking away, guys. Downsides to this build, honestly, I don't really see many downsides to this build. This is just a really solid build, guys, and I'm surprised not a lot of people use this. It probably should be meta, but it's not. But anyways, hey, who am I? Who am I to say what the DBD meta is? Moving on. Build number 2. Are you looking for a solid build? Just a well-rounded build? Are you curious as to what my go-to build is when I hop in and I just want to play a couple games and I don't want to think too much and I want to have a good time? Guys, this is my go-to build right here. The build I keep coming back to and the build I enjoy using the most right now. The perks: Sprint Burst, Deja Vu, Desperate Measures, No One Left Behind. Let me explain what they do. Sprint Burst will give us a burst of speed for a 150% burst of speed for 3 seconds. Then we're exhausted for 40 seconds. Very simple exhaustion perk. Lets you run really quick, really quick. And you can 99 it. So let's say you're exhausted, your exhaustion meter's getting full. Once it's about to go away, you can just start running, and then when next time you're in chase, you can run around, and then take your hand off the shift key for a second, and then get your exhaustion back, and then you can sprint burst, run away from the killer. Really cool thing you can do with this perk. Deja Vu, I explained this earlier. My perk, because when I'm tired and I don't really want to think too much, I just like to go into the game and have a game plan. This lets me see the 3 gens that are closest to each other. I can prioritize working on those gens. I can get that gen speed bonus working on those gens, and I can prevent my team from getting 3 gen. Also, if the killer comes to me while I'm working on those gens, I just sprint burst to run away. No big deal. But the fun part about this build is these next 2 perks. 1, Desperate Measures. I discussed it a little earlier. Every injured, hooked, dying survivor will increase our healing and unhooking speed by 14%, up to 56%. So this stacks with our medkits. We'll heal ourselves a little quicker. We'll heal our teammates a little quicker. A very fun perk. So the good thing about Desperate Measures is it almost makes the game feel more fun when it's not going your way. When everybody's getting injured, and during those stressful times where it's just like, hey, we're all getting injured, this kind of sucks, you actually don't feel bad about it. You feel good because you're actually like, hey, I've got this bonus to my healing speed. I've got this bonus to my unhooking speed. This feels pretty good, and I can get my team back in the fight a lot quicker. But the best part about it is this last perk, guys. No One Left Behind. Everybody sleeps on it. This perk is so amazing and so fun. What does it do? Well, 1, you get 100% extra blood points for healing and unhooking survivors. Great, extra blood points. 2, you get 50% extra speed while healing and unhooking other survivors in the endgame. So we get a 50%. So once the last gen is done, we turn into an unhooking and healing god, guys. 50% extra speed for healing, 50% extra speed for unhooking, plus Desperate Measures, which already gives us unhooking and healing speed. So we will get some insanely fast unhooks and some insanely quick heals with these 2 perks combined. But that's not it, guys. No One Left Behind still does more things. 3, When you unhook a survivor, they'll have a 7% movement bonus for 10 seconds. So instead of the 7% they normally get from the built-in borrowed time, they'll actually get a 14% speed boost for 10 seconds. So there's a really good chance whoever you unhook is going to get the hell out of there. And then the last and probably one of the best parts about this perk is in the end game, you can see the aura of all other survivors in the trial for the rest of the game. So once that last gen pops, you can see where everybody's at. You can see who's in chase. You can see who needs to be healed. You can find a teammate that's struggling that needs you to take a hit or body block for them. This perk is so much fun. Mwah! Chef's kiss, underrated. Nobody uses it. I don't know why. But this build, I just feel like, is very well-rounded. You've got your exhaustion perk. You've got your deja vu, prevent yourself from getting 3-gen. If you don't like deja vu, use prove thyself. Same difference. You got a little bit of healing and unhooking and support in here. It's a fun build, guys. You get a little bit of everything with this build, and that's what I enjoy, and that's why it's my go-to build. But guys, without further ado, let us hop in to my number 1 build for you guys. Do you want a awesome build? Do you want the best build for annoying the killer? Do you want to use the most ridiculous combo in Dead by Daylight for Survivor? Do you want to put your ultra items for your medkits to good use? This is the build you have to try, guys. The God Combo build. Let me explain what this does. The perks renewal, off the record, decisive strike, and dead hard. A medkit. A medkit is mandatory. I prefer the yellow ones, but you can use any medkit. The yellow ones are nice because they have 24 charges, so you can get 1 full heal out of it and have 8 charges left over to burn the medkit for your add-ons. The add-ons we're bringing are the anti-hemorrhagic syringe. This consumes your medkit when you use it, but after 16 seconds, you will heal an entire health state. Self-explanatory there. The Scriptic Agent, also known as Bottle Time, also consumes your medkit. Before the next 8 seconds, you will have the Endurance status effect. Stay with me, I will explain this long, amazing, fantastic combo here in a second. Renewal, we discussed it earlier. If you heal someone a full health state, you will heal yourself completely after you get unhooked after 20 seconds. Remember this. This is the only precursor to the combo. You're going to have to heal someone at full health state, and then after you get unhooked, that's when the God Combo goes live, guys. Renewal, off the record. We talked about it earlier. 80 seconds of endurance, grunts of pains reduced 100%, and your aura won't be shown to the killer. Now, fun fact, guys, off the record and renewal work really good together because after 20 seconds, you get fully healed, and then for 60 more seconds, you still have off the record. So a lot of times you will confuse the killers because you'll take your renewal hit, they'll chase you, they'll be trying to bait out the dead hard, they won't see you dead hard, and then they'll just hit you again, and then, oh, endurance from off the record. You don't go down. It's a great feeling, guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then let's just say vice versa. If you get unhooked, and then you take either your built-in borrowed time hit, or you take the off-the-record hit like 15, 16 seconds and chase before your renewal goes off, this will actually heal you out of deep wound. So instead, you will go from deep wound back to just injured, but then you can use dead hard, guys. There's a lot of weird, cheeky little synergies, but I'm going to explain the ultimate chain here in a bit. Dead hard, you already remember, when you're injured, activate for half a second, you have endurance, you can take a hit, tank a hit. Awesome. Decisive strike, when you go down, or when you get unhooked for 60 seconds, you have access to decisive strike, so if the killer picks you up in that time frame, you can stab him, stun him for 3 seconds, and then continue the chase. So the combo, guys, the most ridiculous combo in Dead by Daylight, and one I've pulled off a few times, and every time I pull it off, I cannot stop cracking up, guys, because if you do this right, you essentially take 5 hits from the killer. So you get unhooked. 20 seconds later, renewal goes off, and that is your time. So once you get unhooked, you want to actually be looking for this killer. You want to be close enough to him to where you can take chase as soon as your renewal hits, because after renewal hits, you have 40 seconds for the next 2 steps. So one, we're taking the renewal hit, or we get renewal off, so we can take 2 hits. So you in chase, you take a hit, whatever. You take another hit. Okay, great. So you can take 2 hits within 40 seconds because you're fully healed and you're taking your off the record hit. And then the last part, which is a little tricky, and sometimes I intentionally go down just to pull off this meme combo because it's so much fun, dudes. Trust me, it's so much fun. So we've taken 1 hit from renewal. We've taken 1 hit from off the record. we're going down within the minute. Killer picks us up. They usually don't expect you to use Decisive Strike and off the record. So then we Decisive Strike this killer. We're still in the chase, guys. So 1 hit, 2 hit, back in the chase. That is when we pop our med kit. Use our med kit, use the hemorrhagic syringe, use the bottle time. So the great thing about this, guys, is that we activate it. We have 8 seconds to take the bottle time hit. Usually we'll take the bottle time hit. That would be our 3rd hit. And then a few more seconds to go, we'll get that syringe to heal us up. So usually, guys, after taking it, I'll extend the chase for a few more seconds and try to make sure I willingly take the hit from the Scriptic Agent, and then continue the chase out a little longer. So then, if we can extend the chase another 8 seconds for the syringe to heal us out of Deep Wound, well, guys, we'll heal up back to injured, and then we can actually hit our dead heart after that. It sounds a lot. It sounds technical. It sounds crazy, but if you do not believe in this combo, check out my YouTube video on it. Link in the description below. Check out my clip where I pulled this combo off, guys. Link below. Guys, it's so hilarious when it works. It's a little bit of a meme, but killers will literally be like, what the heck? So they'll take 1 hit, 2 hit, Decisive Strike, bottle time, healing out again. Then they never expect the dead heart after all that. That's 5 freaking hits, dude. 5, guys. Ultimate tank G mode survivor build, dudes. Oh! Whew. Yeah, I'm done, guys. That build is awesome. I don't care what you say. If you're gonna comment and say it's too technical, well, try it out for yourself and then let me know how it works for you, dudes. But anyways, guys, that is it. Top 10 survivor builds. Each of these builds will individually be in the link below, so check it out if you want to see any of these builds in action in more depth. Links to them all below. Also, guys, smash that like button if you enjoy this. Top 10 survivor builds for 2023. Top 10 survivor builds for the rest of your life, man. Comment below. Let me know which build is your favorite. And also, subscribe to the channel if you're not already part of the family. Guys, what are you waiting for? Support DBD Build. Support the movement. Join the freaking family. I love you all. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile. And I will see you on the next one. Boom.